So when you hear the word estate agent or letting agent, what do you think the public think about estate agents and letting agents? What do they say? Let's write, bear with me, let's write some words down. So we're going to go estate agents, right? That's the focus of this session. Estate agents. Shout out, guys, what words do the public think? Sleazy. Liars. Cheesy. Con man. What else? What else, guys? What are the words? Say again. Scammers. Ego. Cocky. Okay. What's that? Smarmy. Let's stop there. What question did I ask? What do the public think of estate agents? I didn't say, what bad things do the public think of estate agents? Isn't that interesting? Well, I would challenge it. Because the truth is this, guys. If we're going to be world class, it starts with you. And if we're going to change the public's perception of what agency is really about, it starts with you. And what I'm going to talk about for the next hour is how to change, optimize your vows into instructions. We're going to focus on estate agency, but it starts with you. I was doing some work with an agent called Webbers. They're in Exeter area, beautiful independent agent, 13 offices, right? And I was going around the room. When I do some training, there was sort of 20 people around the room, managers, negs, etc. And I always get everyone to share their name, their role. And as we're going around, there was a lady called Lisa. And she was quite shy. And she sort of said, my name's Lisa. I've been here 3 years, and I'm just an administrator. Okay. And then her boss, Mark, stood up. He said, I'm Mark. I said, Mark, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Lisa, what's your role? She said, I just told you I'm an administrator. So I said, okay, so if a vendor was to walk into your branch or to phone up your agency, would you take that call? She said, yeah, that's my job. So I said, then you're not just an administrator. Because when the phone goes down, the perception of Webbers is on you. The feelings that you evoke within that individual is the questions you asked, the statements you made, and how you made them feel. I said to her, you're not just an administrator. I said, you're the CEO of the first impression. She looked at her boss, Mark, and said, I want a pay rise. But the truth is, she was. And any one of you in this agency could be the first impression. I know we have owners, directors, valuers in the room, but you are still responsible and accountable for every single person within your team that are the CEO of that first impression. And therefore, if we're going to have any chance of changing the public's perception of what agency is, and if we're going to change the way they think and feel about us, and if we're going to convert better than everyone else, it starts with that. And every touch point has to be world class. So what I'm going to share with you today is, what does world class mean? And how do we do it consistently? So when I teach agents the valuation process, really, it comes down to very simply 3 things. The pre-val, present the val, post-val. But my belief is the first step, the pre-val, I think is the most important. Why? Why would I think, guys, the pre-valuation, you've not met the vendor, your team have not met the vendor. Why is that the most important? Make or break. And I believe when that phone call goes down or when that vendor walks out of your branch and your team have been dealing, managing, speaking to them, I actually believe the vendor's already got an idea of who they favour before you even walk into their property. That's what I believe. Because we know that agents, vendors, they're going to phone 3 agents. Even if you've been recommended, they're phoning 3, right? So if we have to change their perception from day one, before we walk into the vendor's property, we have to stand out. We have to be different. And that's what this is all about. So if you look at the pre-val, it consists of those 3 steps. It consists of those 3 steps. It starts with the phone call. What I'm going to do is role play the call today, because when you're in your office, when your team are taking those calls, and as you said, they're qualifying the vendor, are they doing it properly? Because trust me when I say this, I've listened to 1,000 calls. I've been on about 800 valuations. And what I've seen, the top 1% in the UK and in Europe, they do something different from the rest. And that's what I'm going to talk about. And it does start here. So I'm going to go through what I mean by that structure. We're going to talk about the confirmation. Now, that sounds quite simple, but the top 1% do things different. They're unique, they're memorable. I'm going to explain what that looks like. And finally, do your team make the introduction? Do they show an interest and actually phone the day before to introduce themselves if that valuer didn't take the first phone call? So are you doing that in your teams? Or do you have a standard and a consistency that these things are done every single time? Because if there's no system or standard, there's no consistency. And you're only as strong as your weakest link. Fair? So I'm going to put the phone call to one side for a moment. But this is an email that I teach my clients to do. Because an email's great. So in this scenario is a negotiator has spoken to one of your valuers, right? And hopefully they followed a really good structure, which I'm going to talk about. But the emails I normally see is, Dear Mr. and Mrs. Morris, lovely speaking to you. Richard's going to come and meet with you on Wednesday the 11th at 3:30 p.m. Kindest regards. Would you say, is that a typical fair email that the vendor's going to get? Yeah? So you give value first. Give and you will receive. One of the best books on sales, persuasion, influence was Influence by Dr. Robert Cialdini. And if you give value first, by the power of reciprocation, they want something, they feel duty to give something back. Because you give them value, your competitors haven't. Bless you. Your competitors haven't. So in my experience, it's often a negotiator that would normally take a phone call with the vendor. Is that fair in your businesses? Yeah? So as well as that phenomenal qualification that they should do every call across every member of your team, because we never know who the vendor's going to call, right? Then a confirmation goes out. Now, what I've seen in terms of the best converters is they sell the valuer. I want you to tell me who I'm meeting, why I'm meeting them. And therefore, in the email, they're going to have a lovely description, and they're going to get a video of the valuer. So I'm going to play a video that I use and teach my clients to use because A, you stand out, but B, a point is delivered. So let me play the video and give you an idea of what that looks like. Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. I'm Tony Morris. I'm the Senior Listings Manager. I understand you spoke to my colleague Mikkel in the office. He's explained your situation, that you're looking to move back to England. And I've actually had a look around the road that you're based in. Your property looks absolutely stunning. I cannot wait to meet you both, just to explain about the strategies that we use to achieve the best results in Spain. Really look forward to meeting you then. But don't take our word for the results we achieve. Listen to what our clients say.
Hi, Simon Bradbury here. In my view, if you need to turn your polite dispensers of information into income generating, proper, real, effective salespeople, you need to speak to Tony Morris.
That's my dad, by the way. He's lovely. He does all videos for me. He doesn't know it really isn't my dad. He's a client of mine. But right, I should be an agent, right? So what have I demonstrated there? What 2 or 3 things, guys, did you pick up? Share.
You've basically told them that you've researched their property.
Good.
Making it personal.
So I've shown I'm interested. I've been there. I loved it.
Yep.
Made it personal. Yeah.
You've then obviously demonstrated that you're trustworthy.
Good.
Because you've given them a recommendation.
Good. Anyone else? What else, guys, did you notice?
It's already been discussed and passed over.
Good. It's well communicated across the business. Are your team doing that? Are they writing putting the right notes in your CRM, whatever you're using? Is that read properly by your valuers? And are they then giving themselves the best probability of winning the instruction? It's not a numbers game, it's a probability game. And if you do all the things I'm going to talk about consistently, the probability of winning the instruction at the right fee will always go up. So what else was done on that video? What was the final thing that you took away or saw? testimonial, right? The line I use, and you've got to get, you've got to choose this, it's your business, your team, is when we talk about how good we are, it can sound like we're showing off. When our clients do, it's proof. It's not about you, it's about what your clients say. And the best way people talk about this USP. Yeah, USP, unique selling point. I've got a bit of an issue with a USP. So a USP is a unique selling point. No one wants to be sold to. I call it commission breath. Our job is not to sell, it's to help. I think it's a UCB, a unique client benefit. It's all about them. Every single thing that we should be saying in the video, the messaging, the presentation, your team need to only think of one thing. Every vendor they meet should have a sign above their head, and the sign will read, "It's all about me." But do they take it and treat it that it's all about them, or do they talk all about themselves? The awards you've won, that you've been doing this for 7 years, you're the market leader, that's fine. But what's in it for them? What does that person, vendor, take away from that experience? So can I ask, does anyone use video, and does anyone use video testimonials in your interactions, in your correspondence? So here's a question. How do you know what your UCBs really are? Ask your clients. Because it's not what you think, it's what they tell you. So say to your clients, "Michael, it's Tony, Morris Estates, how's things, blah, blah." Say, "Michael, I've never asked you this. We've been dealing with each other for 3 years, and I've never asked. Feedback's everything to us. How have you found the experience working with Morris Estates? And can I ask you, why did you choose us to begin with?" Pick up the words they use, because what you'll do is if you start to get this feedback, you'll start to see similar words, similar patterns. And if we can use those words back in video, on our appointment, the conversion is most likely to go up. So are your team doing this? Are they having those conversations with your clients so we can utilize that throughout the process? Does that make sense? But it starts with your customer. So this is the email. Now, I want to get a thought here. It's about the right testimonial, okay? It's about the right testimonial. Give me 4, 5, 6 reasons why people are going to be selling. Downsizing, divorce, upsizing, relocating, death, probate. So how good would it be if we have a video testimonial for all of those scenarios? Because that's why people sell, right? Upsize, downsize, relocate, death, divorce, etc. So if your team know when they take a call, they really understand the motivation, hopefully they show empathy, and we send a video message of your valuer who's going out with a testimonial right at the end of demonstrating they helped me in my situation. And there's an immediate connection. Now, you've got to be careful because your team should have basically a selection of videos for each valuer in your business and the right testimonial on the back of them. So I'd almost have Tony probate video, Tony divorce video, Tony, and as long as it's organized like that, it's not the end of the world if it gets the wrong one. It's not the end of the world, but it will resonate when I lost my dad and I got the agent saying, "My mum and I went through the worst time of our life and I cannot thank Lumley Estates enough." Because not only we got good price for my mum, but they made the process as easy as possible when we went through the biggest, toughest time in our life, and I cannot thank Lumley's enough. How much value would that be if I'm going through that? I've just got the estate, I'm going through a tough time and I see that. You don't need to say how good you are, your clients are doing it for you. So choose your videos. What then happens? So confirmation, we've talked about the email. What's the next step? And this is, again, what the greatest top 1% of agents do that others don't. And it's an idea that I've given them that will honestly change the game for you. So I recommend, if you can, if it's possible, you hand deliver something before the appointment. Does anyone do that? Does anyone hand deliver something? You do, yeah? And only if it's feasible, what do you hand deliver?
The confirmation of the time and date.
Okay.
And I knock on the door, introduce myself, say I'm the valuer who's going to come to your property on so-and-so date.
Yep.
If they don't answer, I'll just pull it in an envelope and post it through.
Perfect. So it's just a confirmation letter at this stage,
yeah.
Which is good. You're doing one thing that most don't do. You're actually introducing yourself, right? But I'm going to give you 3 other golden recipes that's going to change the game. What colour's your brand? I haven't seen your logo.
Black.
Black. Do you have a black envelope? That in case you don't see them, do you leave a black envelope?
No, it's white. We've got a little black sticker on it.
Okay, that's okay. I would choose your brand, guys. My brand's navy and white. I choose these navy envelopes because it's your DNA, it's your brand. I want them to recognise that. So Fine & Country's black, and I have a beautiful matte black envelope. It looks expensive, it looks smart, and it's a good starting point, right? But then what's the magic ingredients? What should go in there? So this is what I'm recommending. One is the letter that you just touched on. Now, one of you said about communication in your team's office. As owners, it's your job to make sure the right stuff is going into that CRM. We need to be spot checking your team. Are they qualifying properly? Are they getting the key information that consistently goes in? So this scenario, we've spoken to Sarah and Michelle, and Tony's going to be there to talk about Hartsmith School where his kids go. So what it shows is Mike has picked up one thing about the vendor, and that's been communicated, right? So you want to have one line that demonstrates we listen and we communicate across the team, yeah? But here comes the two bits that I think are value. You want to have a valuer's biog. I need to know who's going to be looking after my property. So I would recommend you have something only about you, not the agent, because you're going to sell that at the appointment. This is you. You are their consultant, their advisor, the expert. And what's key about that you're noticing again? Testimonial, right? About you. It has to be about you, why you're great, why you're different to other agents, because most don't do this. So I'd have professional looking blogs just like this. They want to know about you. Be careful. I've seen before, I've worked with companies in an agent in Arsenal, and one of them put, I'm a Spurs fan. That didn't serve, right? You f them off before you even start. So make sure there's nothing in there that could offend. But this is the gold, and this is why I'm such a believer your team should either be handling it if that's feasible, or putting in the post at least 2 days before the appointment. This changes the game. I would have a meet the team as well, by the way. I don't know if anyone's got that. I've got 3 identical twins. You may know about them, but yeah, they're my identical triplets. And they want to know who's in your team, who's looking after them. For you, I want to know who the property manager is. I want to know who's the administrator. I want to know who the negotiator is who's going to do offers on that vendor's property. It brings value to you, right? This is the gold. I want you all to create 10 questions about your business that your competition don't do. So the key message, guys, is this. You're going to arm your vendor, right? Your vendor you're going to meet. You're going to arm them with 10 questions they're going to ask you, but they're going to ask your 2 competitors as well. So you're feeding them the questions. 2 things come out of that. Number 1, you got the answers because you wrote the questions. And number 2, your competitors won't be ready for it. It highlights your strengths and their weaknesses. I call these trump questions. So there's value here because what the vendor's thinking is, how helpful. They're giving me questions that I hadn't even thought about. Therefore, they're going to ask the same questions to your competition, and you're choosing them based on your agency up against who the typical agents your valuers compete with. These are just 3 examples to give you. Asking price. Most agents I train don't have a clue. Some do, a lot don't. And then they blag, and it's obvious they're blagging. We were talking about it of, how in the next year, how important a portal is going to be when you get your social media strategy correct. But at the moment, until the vendor's educated, it's important to them, is their property on that portal? But if your competitor that you come up against is only on Rightmove and you invest in all 3, now there's value. And they're the words I'd be using. We invest in the 3 leading portals because that investment's what they pay for. It's one of the things they pay for when you help them achieve the best buyer at the best fee, at the best price. So guys, let's share some because I've picked up bits and actually I would be suggesting we tweak certain things. I'll give you an example. We had over there, are you a member of the guild? Now, a lot of vendors won't know what that is, so therefore we have to change the language so it directly benefits them. So I would say, how do you have access to more buyers all over the UK? How are you accessing buyers from all over the UK? And that changes the game. Yeah, that changed the game. So I want to now talk about the key is how are you increasing your probability, your valuers, of winning an instruction more consistently and at bigger fees, okay? And this all starts with that CEO of the first impression, the phone call. Now, I've said to you, I listen to about 1,000 calls. I've been in the industry now for 18 years working with estate agents. I've listened probably more than 1,000 calls. And I'd probably say 50 were handled really, really well. And funny enough, those 50 would always lead to instruction, right? Because I'm going to put in your structure what we should be asking. But the key word here is consistent. Has anyone got a structure in your business for every eventuality, every phone call, be it a landlord, a buyer, a vendor? Is there a structure you've taught your team to follow so it's done in a... No? Nobody? You never want it, guys, that your CEO of the first impression gets a call and they don't know what to say, right? Immediately it highlights your weaknesses, right? The only way to ensure that doesn't happen is they're well trained and there's a process that's consistent, and only with consistency you're going to get consistent results. So this is what I'd like to do. I'd like to get a volunteer where one of you is going to be a vendor and I'm going to be someone in your office, right? A vendor is phoning up Morris Estates, my agency. Your agency. I'm a negotiator, and I'm going to be booking an evaluation because these are the 10 steps that I've designed. And I've been doing this now for many, many years, and there's 3 points in this that most agents don't do. And these 3 points, guys, I promise you could be the difference from a 40% conversion to a 60% conversion. Just 3 of these 10 points. So who wants to do a quick phone call with me where you're the vendor, you're looking to sell? Yeah, thank you, my friend. So let's come at the front, 2 chairs. I've got a pen and paper ready. And what I want you to think about first is think of a scenario, right? You've got a property, you're thinking of selling it for whatever reason. We've not planned this, by the way. Well, maybe.
Yeah.
And so I'll give you 50 quid after. So you've got a scenario in your head, and I'm going to, because I don't know your area, I'm going to say a couple of things that are relevant for your area if I was a neg in your business, right? Mm-hmm. In the agency. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, guys, while I'm doing this, I want you to keep a look on those 10 words, those 10 points, because this is all your team should be ever having in your office. I'm just going to demonstrate what they actually mean and how to use them. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, so this can be the role play, guys. Listen, take notes, and then we can discuss any questions, any points, yeah? So you phoned up, I'm answering the call, and we'll go with it.
Yeah.
So good morning, thanks for calling Morris Estates, Tony speaking. How
Hi
can I
there.
help?
I'm looking to sell my property.
Fantastic, well I can absolutely help. My name's Tony Morris, so who am I speaking with?
My name's Matt.
Matt, thank you so much for calling. Your landline's just appeared on my phone. Can I get a mobile for you, please?
Yep, sure. It's 077.
Perfect. Just before we talk about your property, may I ask who was it who recommended you to Morris Estates?
I saw you on a Google review online.
Oh, perfect. Well, I'm pleased the reviews are working. The reason I asked, most of our business is recommended, so I'm really pleased to hear that. So tell me, Matt, why are you looking to sell?
Just looking to relocate from the area. Got a new job up north, so going to need to sell and to move the family up there.
Oh, fantastic. Whereabouts? Where are you looking to go up north?
To Edinburgh.
Oh, beautiful. And may I ask, what do you do for work if you're relocating?
I'm in tech.
Excellent. Edinburgh's beautiful.
Yeah.
Great city. And in terms of time frames with this relocation, what are you sort of working towards?
Being realistic, but I definitely need to move in the next 6 months.
6 months, okay. So can I just get the address of your property, please?
Yeah, it's number 7.
I know that you're just by the Dog and Hound pub, aren't you?
I am indeed, yeah.
It's lovely. Used
It
to be my local, actually, with a couple of friends of mine. It's lovely. So can I get the postcode?
Yeah, it's...
Perfect. So imagine we're standing now outside number 7. Could you just walk me through your property?
Yep, so you come through a porch, it's a Victorian terrace,
Okay.
and then you go into the living room. Further to that, you've got the dining room, the kitchen, have a downstairs bathroom, and then straight to the outside in a little extra inner hall.
Okay.
And then upstairs, there's 2 bedrooms and one with an ensuite as well.
Oh, perfect. Are they doubles, the 2 bedrooms?
They are, yeah, both doubles.
Perfect. How long have you been there?
For about 7 years.
Okay. And what changes, anything you've done to the property at all?
Yeah, so when I bought the property, it was a bit of a doer-upper. It'd been
Okay.
empty for a while, so
Okay.
New kitchen, bathroom, pretty much reconfigured some of the downstairs layout. It was open. I wanted it a little bit more sort of separate and cosy for the cottage, it's got a open fire in there as well, so it's
Sounds
nice
gorgeous.
to get the cottagey feel.
Is it just yourself who lives there?
No, my partner Liam as well.
Partner Liam, perfect. Do you know Anthony Road at all?
I don't know.
So it's probably about 2 miles from you. We've actually just sold a beautiful 2-bed terrace. We had it on the market for 5 weeks. We had 11 viewings, 6 offers, and there were 5 bitterly disappointed buyers that I really think, just from what you've told me already, that'd be probably the first people that's come up in my mind. Can I ask, Matt, when choosing an agent, what would you say is the number one most important thing to you?
I mean, I want a guarantee really, which to sell my home, and evidence that they can do that. And I suppose for me as well, a big thing what you probably hear is communication. I want to know who's doing the job and who I'm going to be dealing with.
That's really good to know. When you say communication, all of our vendors like either daily updates, weekly. They want phone calls, WhatsApps. What's an ideal communication channel with you?
I'd probably say WhatsApp, to be honest, because I'm busy during the 9 to 5, and I imagine that's when you're sort of working. So it's going to be far easier for me to message WhatsApp rather than if you call me and leave me a voicemail, I'm probably not going to listen to it. And
Perfect.
Yeah.
No, that suits us. And can I get an idea? Obviously, you're moving to Edinburgh for work. What sort of price do you think you need to make this work for you?
Probably ideally closer to 300. Don't know how realistic that will be, but that would make things super easy for me.
Perfect. Well, I'm going to get a lady called Sarah to come and meet with you and Liam. I think she's definitely the expert from what you've told me in terms of the area and the property. It's really important Sarah meets both you and Liam, and the reason for that is often partners have very different questions. She's going to want to answer those, so together you can make an informed decision. So looking at her diary, she's available tomorrow, no, probably the following day, Thursday, at about 4:45, or Friday at 11:15. Which works better for you both?
Probably the Friday, actually.
At 11:15, yeah?
Yeah.
Can I just get yours and Liam's email, please?
Yeah, it's gmail.com.
Yep.
And I can't think of Liam's.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'll just send to you for now. So in terms of Edinburgh, have you actually found anything yet?
I've scoped out a couple of properties, but I don't want to get disappointed if the market and buying there and selling is so different that I feel I just need to be a bit more cautious with getting mine on the market and seeing if I do actually have interest and how feasible it is.
That's very sensible. I completely get that. And obviously you're looking to get hopefully in the region of 300. You'd be delighted. What sort of price point are you looking to spend up to with this property in Edinburgh?
Probably 450.
Okay. So one of the things we do here at Morris Estates, we're part of a network called the Guild. What that means is we have access to 832 agents, best agents in the country. So if it helps you and Liam, I can speak to the leading agent in Edinburgh, and when I know a bit more for you both, they can hopefully put some properties in front of you. Would that work for you?
Yeah, sounds great.
Fantastic. So in terms of financing the move, what's your financial situation?
We would need to borrow more as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you currently have a mortgage in place?
I do indeed, yeah.
Who's that with out of interest?
Nationwide.
Okay, that's who I bank with. Who have you compared Nationwide against?
To be honest, I've not looked for many years. I had a broker, but since being in the property, not really shopped around or had a look.
I'm going to help you with that. So our financial experts, a guy called Mike James, I've been with Nationwide for 20 years, and Nick's managed to help me and literally save me at least £120 a month. There's no guarantee he can do that for you, but he'll definitely try. When's the best time for him to reach out to you?
Probably say ideally any time after 4:30.
After 4:30,
Yeah.
okay. I'll look at it, so probably tomorrow if that still works, after 4:30. And what steps have you both taken to be legally ready?
To be honest, very early stages, so I've not actually, got anything more sort of going other than this valuation stage.
No, that makes sense. Look, I'll get things organised for you because, in my experience, you want to have all your ducks in a row. So when you guys do get the right buyer that we can put forward, and you want to get that move in the next 6 months, at least you know everything that's going to be involved. So what they'll do, based on this conversation, they'll put things in the post to you, give you an idea of that cost of move. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Fantastic. So have you got any questions for me at this stage?
Yeah, what do you charge?
It's a great question. When Sarah comes out to meet you both, we actually have 3 or 4 different marketing strategies. So once she sees you, sees the property and questions you a bit more, she'll be able to explain which strategy she's going to suggest and obviously what fees are involved in that.
Okay, cool.
Look, thank you so much again for calling Morris Estates and really appreciate your time. And Sarah, look forward to meeting you and Liam at 11:15 on Friday.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah.
Are they typical conversations your teams are having in your office? Yeah. Okay. So what have we picked up? What were there were 2 or 3, for me, really important ones that your team should be doing every single call.
You basically talked about having both parties there, but you did
Good.
it in a nice way. It's not like decision maker.
Good.
The way you did it, it made them feel at comfort.
Good.
That's what I felt or took away from that.
So it's called a justification statement.
Yeah.
So what often happens, guys, is your partner going to be available or can I meet you both? And the problem with that is I could lead to a no. And we never want your team asking a question that could lead to a no. Very interesting. So I've got a client called Frost in St Albans. And we did a split test we did 2 months evaluations with just one person, 2 months with all parties. Guess which got a better conversion? The latter by about 21%. So the only thing that changed is you met both. Or if it's a probate, 3 or 4.
Big takeaway for me was actually how you approach the add-ons.
Yeah.
My valuer would generally maybe try for it at that stage, but you spoke about the mortgages and the solicitors quite early.
And how did we get the appointment? Because I made it you were lovely, so thank you. But we made it as easy as possible to get them. How? What did I say or do? Did anyone pick up the FS?
To close it, yeah, you said you used the story basically of how you'd used it, how you'd saved £120. Didn't guarantee that you would.
But they'll try.
But
So
they'll
guys, there were
try.
2 points here. One, have a success story up your sleeve, okay? Facts tell, stories sell. Every single person in your team needs to have a story, a real story for every different situation, be it a probate, be it a divorce, whatever it might be, there's a story up your sleeve. The technique I use though is called don't ask, tell. Don't ask, tell. Your team need to be doing this. So I didn't go, would you like to speak to my broker? Because I don't want to hear a no. So what was the question I asked, guys? Did anyone pick up on it? Who have you compared them against? Yeah. Then I dropped the seed of, I also bank with Nationwide, which set it up of my broker, Peter Smith, phenomenal, helped me save £138 a month. There's no guarantee, but I know he'll try. When would you like him to call you guys? Imagine you guys tripled your FS appointments every month. Can I ask, what would that do to your business, guys? Tripled your FS appointments. How many deals based on conversion would that land on? And what's that financially worth to your business? You tell me, guys. Anyone knows those numbers? Hundreds of thousands, right? That's one question your team needs to be asking. Who have you reviewed them against? And this is why, guys, this whole program is about optimizing conversion, because if you ask the right questions, you will get the right answers. I promise you. But if it's done consistently.